How is it going, everybody? Welcome to the Football Nation podcast. I'm Tyler with my boy Derek. Derek, how you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Doing good.
Absolutely. Well, I got a big question for us today. There's a lot of rumors circulating around the NFL, a lot about a certain birthday, a lot about a certain off-the-field interaction between a defensive tackle and a quarterback. So let's jump right into it. What do you think is the real problem in Denver?
With Denver, man. Uh well, we both know that it is not the defense because the defense is like top five defense. So
Mhm.
it's not them. It it would be offense, and I think because now we see uh who Russell is truly now. So uh so this year kind of proving now to us now. Okay, cool. This this is this is a very slow start. Awesome,
Absolutely.
but by next year they start to build up more. Now you can't sit them because you paying them a bunch of money. So you would
Yeah.
hate to sit them and then you just throwing money to him and you know and he's not even playing. So I think the problem, it could go deeper, and then to say the coaching staff probably those plays aren't like right for Wilson, because
Yeah.
again if you see that 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 Baltimore, they meshed with Lamar. Uh, Philly meshed with Jalen Hurts. Bengals meshed with Joe Burrow. So they have not created, that offense yet for them. So
Absolutely.
that's the problem to me.
I'll tell you what stands out to me. If you had to guess, what do you think Russell Wilson's QBR on the season is? And for people at home, 140 is about perfect. A
Mm,
zero is like unheard of.
not the worst.
What would you guess his QBR on the season is as a whole?
Man, on a guessing scale, probably 43.5 percent, maybe that
Not
low.
too bad. I'll tell you this: he's 30th in the NFL,
Man,
32.3.
yeah, that's horrible.
And with that average, I'll tell you this: his
Mhm.
highest QBR of any game he's had this year was 52.1. That was the bet, and that
Was
was
it the
week
Jaguar
one.
game?
No, it was the Seattle game. He's
Oh, the
been
first game.
40s,
Okay.
50s once, 40s twice.
Wow. Yeah, that's
I'll
not
tell you
good.
another stat. You know who hasn't played since week 6 and has more touchdowns on the season than Russell Wilson?
Who do?
Carson Wentz. He hasn't played
Carson Wentz
since
ain't
week
even
6.
played since
Since
like
week
week.
6.
Yeah.
6. And he
Yeah,
has
that's a
more
real stat.
touchdowns on the season than the 8 Russell Wilson has in, I believe, 13, 12 games.
Yeah, yeah.
He has 5 interceptions. So he's 28th in touchdowns with 8 touchdowns.
Okay.
He's 30th in QBR, and I believe we've had 35 or 36 quarterbacks start this year. So
Right.
effectively the worst of all registered starters. If you're not
Yeah.
talking about like a Zach Wilson, Mike White, and I'm sure one of those might actually be higher. I'm sure Mike White's actually higher at this point.
Oh,
Jordan Love's probably higher at this point.
Jordan
Ninth
Love.
in interceptions. I mean, the one performance.
Yeah, that one game last week.
I
Yeah, it was
can't
good.
imagine his QBR was much lower.
Oh, no, not at all.
It's been absolutely astonishing to me because Russell Wilson always had a sack problem. He
Right.
always he was mobile, but he always had a problem with just being a little too risky.
Mhm.
35 sacks on the season.
35. That's
35. And so the more you break these stats down, a 58.9 completion percentage, average yards per pass is 7.1. I don't think it's one problem. Now,
oh, it's
just
not.
watching film, looking at these game films, there's been plenty of opportunities, even going back to Indianapolis back in,
Right.
I believe, week 5, Thursday Night Football.
Oh yeah.
Last play of the game, he doesn't look to his hot route, the immediate, because when you're running red zone, you got to be quick with your decisions. First route was KJ Hamler running a slant. Second route was Sutton running a fade. The fade is going to take about a second and a half to 3 seconds, depending on who you're running against and what the depth of that play is. A slant is always within 3 seconds.
Right.
It's maybe a lot quicker typically.
It's really quick. Right.
He took the snap, stared down Cortland Sutton so long to where he had to come back to KJ Hamler and be like, oh, wow, you're just wide open in the middle of the field. Right. And by that point, Cortland was so locked in on Russell staring him down that him looking into the middle drew Cortland back, brought the defender, Stephon Gilmore, with him. And that's how that last play happened, was he looked back at the hot route way too late, about 4 seconds into the play at least, threw the pass when his secondary, who he treated like a primary receiver, came across and completely interrupted it. And that's where you saw KJ Hamler slamming his helmet down. That's a great example of things we've seen a lot this year. You've seen a lot of body language from Jerry Jeudy this year. So Russell Wilson's got problems. Okay. I think Russell Wilson as a whole, he's lost mobility. Was he ever, that mobile? He was, but not to the extent we talk about with like Lamar Jackson, even Josh Allen's. Maybe a little around the category of Patrick Mahomes, but I'd argue Mahomes in his prime is a better athlete than Russell Wilson. He doesn't have that. Even his scrambling now is it's pretty to see, but it's not anything we're accustomed to with him. The passing is a problem. But when you see 35 sacks in 13 games, the offensive line's a problem. Now, how many of these can be quarterback fault? I'd say at least half. A lot of times, whether you step up in the wrong situation, you roll out in the wrong situation, you don't, see things coming. Quarterbacks can result, like Deshaun Watson had that problem for years. So many sacks were his fault because he was really trying to make too much happen. Right. But then you look to the 7.1 average yards per pass. The best they've done in the season is 9.5. They have 0 games this year that his average yards per pass have been over 10 yards. And so I'm seeing that, this deep ball ability he used to have, he either doesn't have or they're not scheming it up right. Right. I think Nathaniel Hackett, whether he be, hiring coaches to manage game situations for him while he calls plays, then later in the season hands his play calling duties off to someone else. There's clearly a disconnect there. There's clearly problems that might just get solved with somebody else. But it can't all be Nathaniel Hackett. Some of these things you see are just like, that's unacceptable. To have a 32.3 QBR, you can put people in a bad system and you can overcome certain things.
Oh, you can. Yes, you can.
It's insane. And so that's where I look at Russell Wilson's a problem. The line I will give less fault to than the other two, but I think it is a problem. I think Nathaniel Hackett's a problem, and I think they have overrated wide receivers. I think they have wide receivers that, if you give Jerry Jeudy to Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, they'll make plays, but they're not number ones. Cortland Sutton, I live in Denver. I'm going to tell you right now. I argue with people all the time. Cortland Sutton is not a number one wide receiver. No, he's a Gabe Davis to me. Yeah, he's someone that, can he be like a Juju where he's like the best number 2 in the league? Mm-hmm. Definitely. But what they're missing is a DK Metcalf. What they're missing is a Doug Baldwin, someone that you can trust every single play. He's either going to get open or he's going to body somebody. Right. Cortland Sutton's somewhere in the middle of that. He's not either. And so I see many, many glaring holes for me. And going on the next year, they don't have high draft picks other than the one they just gave away for Bradley Chubb, which can be late first rounder at best. They don't have their own top 10 pick now that Seattle's going to have. Right. So how deep can you invest in your offensive line? You'll have to see the coaching staff they hire, I believe, is going to have a lot to do with that. But you look at what Russ was successful in the past. Relying on a running game, relying on a defense. You got the defense, but now you got Javonte Williams just tore his ACL.
Which is bad for you.
And to switch sports, Kawhi Leonard recently played a game for the Clippers. And after the game, he was in a press conference talking about, how'd you feel? And he's like, this is a process. A lot of people think an ACL is a 1-year injury. It's not. It's a 2-year injury. And it's a 2-year injury. You're not back fully until 2 years healthy. So even a year from now, look at Cam Akers. Look at J.K. Dobbins. Right. Expectations should be tempered. Can he be effective? Can he play next year? Absolutely. It was early in the season. But he's not going to come back and carry the load. And this is just something where I'm like, this is bad. There's a lot of problems here. Not one solution is going to solve it. And at some point, if Russ is the problem, which I think to an extent he definitely has to be, what solution is there that you can even have? Right. worst case scenario situation for a team. And I mean, you paid him all this guaranteed money before you've seen him play a single snap for your team. Hundreds of millions, man. And so we're gonna have to find out. But there are problems in Denver.
Yeah, there is, man. Now I truly think that if Cortland Sutton can actually work like completely, I think that he can be better. One, he's big and fast, so he can be, that big guy that you can throw to. But Cortland Sutton does not play that way. Jerry Judy is quick and fast, but still, again, the offense don't
support him.
It's not there. So that should be their main focus this offseason, is trying to see what works, what makes sense, because Russell can throw the ball. He can.
Yeah,
he proved it in Seattle. 2 Super Bowls. They got it.
But looking back, how much it was because of him?
Together. Huh?
I'm not sure how much was because of him now. It makes me look back and question, it was the defense, but how much was that you had multiple, when you look back, are these any of these guys Hall of Famers? No. But you got Doug Baldwin, you got Jermaine Kearse, you got Paul Richardson. That's 3 effective wide receivers. They always had a good rotation wide receivers in there. Tyler Lockett came around. Mm-hmm. And so it's you always had 3 to 4 wide receivers. You look at Marshawn Lynch, you look at an underrated offensive line, even though he gave up sacks, which is a trend of Russell Wilson's career. It's something that I'm can he be effective still? Absolutely. But it comes down to 3 things. You got to figure out the coaching staff, and if you got to get rid of it, get the right one. Maybe pay, Sean Payton as much as it takes to get him in. It comes down to the offensive line, but I think before the offensive line, it comes down to wide receivers. I think you're right. Because Cortland Sutton, he's a guy, but he's not DK. Big guy. And the thing about Jerry Jeudy is maybe the coaching staff can fix this, but route runners are typically something you need to scheme in. You look at how effective Stephon Diggs was under, the Mike Zimmer offense in Minnesota. He was effective, but then you get him under, a more offensive style team. Yeah. Sean McDermott, he turned that into something else. And so can Jerry Jeudy have a similar effect? Potentially, but we haven't seen that in his career. But he's never had a real effective offensive coach. He has an offensive coach now, but not an effective one. And so there's potential with the wide receivers. The linemen aren't the worst. I'll give them credit. There are decent linemen there. It's just they're not playing consistently, and the scheme does not seem to be working, whether it's Russ making the wrong decisions or the line not being effective. It's hard to tell because there is more than one problem.
There is. Oh, of course. And it should be fixed by the offseason. It really should. It should.
It might take 2.
All right. Oh, yeah. All right, guys. So, actually, this game here is live, and it is starting now. Number 11, Utah versus number 4, USC. So they met back in week 4 or 5, I think.
I believe. Let me check.
And the game was a great game, a good game. I mean, yeah. So that game came down to the wire, but Utah won though by 1 point. They are playing right now live, and this game, I can guarantee you, Utah is mad because everybody is saying that USC will beat them. So they are going to play mad. Now, Caleb has to play how Caleb played last week. Now, I believe that if Caleb Williams wins this game, he will win that Heisman Trophy.
Absolutely.
You got to Give it to him. But we have to see Caleb Williams win this game. And I think it's gonna be good. And Utah's scheme is more balanced. But for the Trojans, they are more passing like. So we'll see which defense can hold who. My pick, and I like the underdog. It's gonna be those Utah. It's gonna be them.
I got a tough time believing it, man. For me, and so this was week 7 of the college football season. Utah scored 21 in the first half. USC matched it with 28. USC came out and scored 14 in the second half, and Utah rallied back. They scored 22 points 15. 22 points in the second half, and came down to a last-second play, a 2-point conversion that was pretty magical. Right. Think about that game and what exactly had happened. What's the story behind this game? This wasn't a regular Week 7 matchup. This was a game that Utah had gone through some emotional problems with losing 2 people within 2 years from their football team. 2 people that happened to wear the same number. And so they not only had commemorations on their helmets, right. The environment was electric, but the whole game was an emotionally fueled environment for Ty Jordan and Aaron Lowe that, were commemorated on each side of the helmet. It was a beautiful thing, quite frankly. But when you talk about how they went in to the Utah Ute Stadium, to a packed house, an emotionally charged house, and a team that was sitting back thinking brothers they had that they don't have no more. Right. Like, I don't know about you, man, but there's nothing more than motivates somebody. You sitting back being like, I'm carrying their weight on me today. Right. It really gets me emotional thinking about it, being like, imagine that you got people you went to training camp with, you went to weight rooms with, you probably had, good experiences, bad experiences with these people on the team. These are your college teammates. Right. And they, within 2 years, 2 of them die with the same number on their back. And you're going into that game getting a hell of a coach, speech and all that. It is incredible to think about. Then you have just how electric that environment was. And they beat them at 1 point.
About 1 point.
7 games into the Caleb Williams at USC experience, when we are now 13 in at this point. Yep. So for me, it took all that to beat Utah or to beat USC on the road. That ain't happening now. This is not happening in Rice-Eccles Stadium. This is not happening with the Utes just absolutely being on the edge of tears the entire game, fighting for their lives for this team. Mm-hmm. This is a USC team that is ranked top 4 for a reason. And if you think about what the trajectory of their season would have been if they didn't suffer that loss. Right. They're number 4 right now by a hair, disrespected the last few weeks in the rankings. All of a sudden, LSU should have been ahead then. It's clear at this point. Imagine if they didn't take that loss. We're talking about a 12-0 team. Oh, man. It took 1 point to make them not a 12-0 team. Mm-hmm. And then you see how, you lose Travis Dye, but then Jones comes in and is, if not more effective, at the running back position for USC. You talk about, Cam Rising is a good quarterback, but we were talking about another level with Caleb Williams. And last week, their defense showed that, are they perfect? No. But if you get a lead, you force a team to play out of their style, they can do something. I think Cam Rising is a much better quarterback than what we see at Notre Dame. He's a much more effective in the passing offense that Notre Dame doesn't have because they're just a running team. And Dalton Kincaid is maybe the best tight end in football, if not top 3. That said, it took all that for USC to lose on the road. Now we're neutral site. USC is the hottest they've been all year. Their defense is finally showing what they can do. There's no way. There's no way the Utah wins. I'll stand on that very tall. This is the time for Caleb Williams. He has had the right energy the last few weeks, and it's going to take so much, if not an injury, to stop him at this point.
tonight. Oh yeah, of course.
I'm guaranteeing, like you said, that
Mm-hmm.
USC is going to win. And watch them, sprain an ankle or something. Hope, knock on some wood, they don't happen.
Right.
The kickoff is happening at this moment. I expect to see
USC
an
got
early
first.
lead.
USC got first.
And if they go down and score, that's going to force Utah to play a certain way. If they score the second drive, it's going to place Utah a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And last week we saw that. Like 44 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, man. You're not stopping that. I think this is a USC night. It's a redemption night. And I think USC is happy to have Utah in their building. Utah is like, yeah, we'll take them again. I think USC is like them, like, yeah, we wanted you. So it's USC's night. We'll see how it plays out.
We gonna see, man, in some hours. All right, guys. Now to the NFL. Now we got one of the best games this week: the Titans versus the Eagles.
We've talked about this one.
We have, man. This game will be Philly. This game will not be a high scoring game though. It won't. Tennessee has a good defense, and Philly does too. Now, one thing that the Titans do so well is stop the run. Philly likes to run. So I think that they will force Jalen Hurts to have to throw it a bit more. Now, Jalen can throw the ball. Yes, he can. Cool. No problem though with that. But I wonder how Jalen will do if he has to throw it a lot more, because Tennessee is not playing with y'all running the ball. They're not. Now, I don't like Philly at all, so I got the Titans.
We know.
Hey, I got the Titans.
Close
the game, low scoring, the Titans got it.
We talked about last week and the week prior and the week prior and the week prior. The Eagles definitely have shown that they're a dominant team, but there's a certain play style that does match up well with them. Mm-hmm. And that's what we saw against the Commanders. That's what we saw against the Colts.
Right.
And to a certain extent with the Packers too, even though that late score made it seem closer than it was.
Right.
If you have a very physical upfront defensive line, it doesn't let Philly dictate. And I said last week that Jeffrey Simmons is the best interior defensive lineman, maybe the best defensive lineman, period, in football. Better than Chris Jones by a slim margin, and better than Aaron Donald by a slightly bigger but very slim margin. Those are the top three, but Jeffrey Simmons this year has been the best. Anicio Autry, that man has been very impressive coming from Indianapolis. Then you got Daquan Jones in the nose tackle. That man is 340 pounds at least. He moves like you're trying to move a mountain. It's a great matchup for them.
It is.
But it's not quite De'Aaron Payne and Jonathan Allen. Those are two Pro Bowlers. Now we're talking about one and two awesome guys. The edge rush I'm very confident in. Bud Dupree. Harold Landry's not been playing this year. He's been out with injury. But I don't find it to be the same as what we saw against the Commanders. Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing to me is that Commanders know Eagles well. They see them year after year, twice a year. And the roster for the Eagles stays much the same, especially that offensive line unit. Right. So they knew what they were doing. They had some things for him. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about the Titans' losses this year and what is comparable about what we're going to see.
The Titans' losses.
So the Titans have had some dominant wins, but the highest they've scored is 27 points. That's due to their play style. They're a very run-heavy team. They're a dominant, controlling team, and it's been effective. They're 7-4.
Right.
But week one, the Ravens, I'd call that a running style team. I'd call that a very physical team, like what we saw. Beat them 20-10 or 23-10. You talk about down the road, the Giants. At the heat of what they were doing.
Yeah, then
beat them 21-20 on a wildcat snap in the goal line. Saquon Barkley getting in. Very clutch moment. Follow that with a 41-7 loss to the Bills. Now, to their credit, they won 5-6 straight after that. They went on a run after that. Then you hit the Chiefs. Chris Jones. More defensive guys that are very, very solid. 20-17. They had a lead there, but they allowed that comeback.
The whole game.
They did, but the thing is that when you force a team to pass, you better have the secondary to back that up.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. That's true.
The Titans they're solid, but they don't have that elite unit. Kevin Byard, great.
Yes.
Christian Fulton, he's good. Caleb Farley, he's always hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They got a lot of young guys playing there, and you can see it against the Chiefs of like they couldn't hang. You know, Armani Hooker, is not shutting down like Travis Kelce. You know, don't find him to be able to shut down the guys that like AJ Brown. Then you talk about the Bengals. That's not really that same style. That was more an impressive win from the Bengals to me, to say that elite quarterback put on a show. But the reason why, I saw USC's up 7. Man. I think
that was quick.
The Bengals showed a different element of what I was just saying about how
they did.
The passing attack. Tennessee's not made to handle that. And if you're a team that can score and score quick, Tennessee's not made to handle that. Are the Eagles exactly that style? Not exactly. They're a little bit of both. But they have both. I just think that we're seeing a much more complete team from the Eagles. Yeah, they've had 3 weeks of close scores. I don't even want to count the Packers game because that late touchdown from Jordan Love made it not a 17-point game. Mm-hmm. To me, this is an Eagles win. Is it Eagles game? If I'm not mistaken, is at home.
Yeah, it's at home.
It is.
For Philly. Yeah, for Philly. Yeah,
they're favorited for me. I'm taking the Eagles. And when you come out of this and you go against the Giants, who going to win, the Bears, going to win, it only comes down to the Cowboys.
Loss. That's a loss.
Even if it is. But here's the thing. Even if it is, you guys have 3 losses on the season, and that puts them at 2. Number 1 seed, bye week, healthy, no major injuries other than C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who decided to hit he hit a Budweiser horse full speed and tore a kidney. But Christian Watson ain't that play. But I'll tell you right now, this is something I'm taking the Eagles very heavily. If Titans can get out and get a good possession to start, somehow the Eagles don't score first drive and the Eagles or the Titans take their time and work it back down the field, maybe you can see something happen. But I'm not seeing that happening. And if you look at who the Eagles have as far as that physical defensive front, they match toe-to-toe with anybody in the league, and they're very healthy.
They have that.
They have 5 good defensive tackles and 4 good defensive ends, and their linebacker core is elite. Nothing to play with.
Right. Very good. So, again, trust me, this game will be close.
I just thought of?
What's that?
This is the A.J. Brown revenge game.
It is.
So you know who's going to go crazy today?
See, got to use A.J. Brown a lot.
Oh, that's the one. That's what really puts it apart for me. I'm standing on that. Eagles he is gonna have a day. Wow, I didn't even think about that this whole time. We've talked about this for weeks. I never even considered that. That's gonna be a thing. That's gonna be something that sways it, and that's gonna be an Eagles win.
I say Tennessee.
So you just hate the Eagles.
No. Look, so past the fact that I don't even like Philly, Tennessee's defense is good. Philly ain't really played a great defense until now. The Commanders was good that game. Lost that game. So Tennessee's defense is better than the Commanders' defense.
So your little argument about Cooper Rush being the quarterback and the Cowboys game not counting is effective until you say they haven't played a good defense, because they scored greatly on an elite defense. So you've already admitted last week or earlier in this the Cowboys. Cooper Rush was starting, but you said they haven't played elite defense. No, they haven't. Not correct. They played the second best defense in the league, and they scored a lot. What I'm saying is this:
it was a Cooper Rush.
I don't care. Talking about defense. You admitted earlier in the week on Tuesday that if they beat the Titans, they've officially beaten a good team. You cannot walk that back now.
If they beat Tennessee, yes, I will. Then then I'll say they're good. Not, yeah, they cold. No, just good.
I'll
But
take it.
play
I'll
Dallas.
take it. I'll take
Out of
it.
there.
You crazy? I'll take
They're
it.
gonna be trash, bro. They're gonna be trash. All right, man. This game here, right here. The Chiefs versus
Mhm.
the Cincinnati Bengals. What a game this is going to be. This is last year's AFC Championship game when Joe Burrow and them Bengals beat them at home. Man, this game I've heard is like a Brady versus a Manning game, passing
Mhm.
wise. This game will be a very high passing game. Of course, this will be a passing game. Number one, Chiefs don't like to run the ball. Andy Reid does not like to run the ball. The Bengals, they love Joe Burrow's arm. I don't know who I got though got though in this game. I don't. I am neutral. I mean, because you could go towards Bengals way, but you could go towards the Chiefs way too as well. But it's gonna be a very good game. It's gonna be somewhere in the 30s, probably too. Passing and all that. But
Here's what I'll tell you.
I'm neutral.
So going back on the Titans real quick, Denicio
Mhm.
Autry is out. They're going to be shorthanded one of their three dominant defensive linemen. Just backing that up. But moving on to the Chiefs, they are going to be missing Kadarius Toney. That don't matter because they got a lot of dudes. Looking over the week's injury reports right now, looks like Joe Mixon's back.
That's good.
I know Jamar Chase is currently questionable. If he doesn't play, I'm concerned, but not as concerned.
Right.
Here's what I see. Did you know that Joe Burrow has never lost to the Chiefs?
Yep.
In two matchups with them, he's beat them both times. He has
2-0.
beat them in the regular season last year, very end of the season, at 34-31. Very close game. He pulled it out. Went crazy that game. Then, in the playoffs, another 3-point win, 27-24 Bengals. So this is going to tell us this is going to be a close game. This is going to be an offensive firepower. Both teams coming into this game are averaging 29 and 25 points per game, top of the NFL. The Chiefs are averaging 430 yards per game, but they've had to come back in a lot of games. They had to make a lot of long drives. That's an inflated stat for sure. Bengals are still 367 as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Every stat you look at here, very, very close. And it's even looking at opponent points per game, 22-21, very close. Opponent yards per game, 335 to 328, very close. I'd say Jamar Chase being out makes me hesitant to pick the Bengals, but this is a game that's going to be so close. Let me double-check the injury report here.
It's always close though.
Jamar Chase and Joe Mixon are questionable. And then the best linebacker is Logan Wilson, also questionable.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be an interesting game, man. This is going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to say at least 27 points each, given the defensive guys are missing. I'd say, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd are going to have a day. Hayden Hurst going to have a day. Samaje Perine showed last week that he can carry the load. I might take the Chiefs, though, just because of the injuries, just because Jamar Chase is just getting back. Joe Mixon, they don't seem to use as much as I'd like. They do use him selectively.
Yeah, they really don't.
Well, they save him. They don't overdo it, and I can respect that to a point.
They trust his arm, though, more with Burrow, though.
Yeah, they trust Burrow more, and they want Burrow to carry the game. But I would use Joe Mixon more personally. I think he's a top 10 back in this league, and especially just to control some games. But they like to air it out. They like to put the other team in a difficult position, and so just because the top two offensive threats not at quarterback for the Bengals are questionable, I'm going to take the Chiefs because even if they play, they're not going to be 100% full strength, and the Chiefs are as hot as they're going to get right now. But I'm not saying it's gonna be a blowout at all. I'm gonna say it's another 3 to 5 point game. Sure.
Yeah, no blowout. No.
This is gonna come down to the wire. It's gonna be a great game. This is game of the week for me. But I'm gonna take the Chiefs. They just shown me too much this year.
Right, of course. So here is why I am so neutral. Here on this game, both of these teams on defense, they're good, but they can't stop nobody.
Yeah, they let up a lot.
They do a bunch of yards and points. Sooner or later, somebody that has a great arm gonna beat them.
Yeah.
Chiefs and Bengals defense. So this could go somewhere in 30s range, of course.
For sure.
But this game will test both teams' defense. The offense will be good on both sides, of course.
No question. Even without Joe Mixon, without Jamar Chase, they're going to be able to score.
They will. They definitely will and should. But, I mean, hey, this is a Brady versus a Peyton Manning style game. Both smart.
You know what else?
Both playing.
Looking at the upcoming schedule for the Chiefs, this is the last real test of their season. You know what they got after this? Broncos, Texans, Seahawks, Broncos, Raiders. They're coming in all out to close.
They should
lose one of those games at most. I'll give the Seahawks and the Raiders some respect. Broncos, Texans, I'm not.
Yeah.
Don't play.
Too easy game. Yeah.
Yeah, 3. And so I'm going to say they're putting everything into this game. They understand how much this means, and they can close out 15-2 if they take care of business here against the Bengals, who are shorthanded. This is going to be that's impressive to me.
It is. Man, we got another showdown. Another great game, man.
Yes, sir. This
Miami
is an impressive one.
Versus those San Fran 49ers. Tyler, I will let you go first, and hey, man, say what you
lay it out. I'll tell you what. This is the biggest thing that stands out to me is who is running these teams, man.
Mm-hmm.
Who is in control at the helm of these teams? Talking about Mike McDaniel from the Shanahan offense, spent time in Washington, spent time every step of the way Shanahan's been. McDaniels was one of his guys. He found the guy's own opportunity, and he is balling out. 8-3 Dolphins, got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, 2 fastest receivers in the league as far as I'm concerned. Then you go to the 49ers. They don't get more stacked. The defense, allowing 15.7 points per game. If I'm not mistaken, they haven't allowed a second half point since week 8.
57.
That's unheard of. That's unheard of. Dolphins ain't no slouch, though. They acquired Bradley Chubb. He's getting a little better every week. They got a pretty deep core with, Melvin Ingram and Jalen Phillips on the edge anyways. They did lose a defensive lineman a few weeks ago, but they got a deep core of guys like Christian Wilkins who can hang. At safety, Javon Holland, he was someone I loved coming out of the draft. He is a top flight safety. And then we're talking about Byron Jones and Xavier Howard. Xavier Howard's a top 3 safety cornerback for me. They're asking him to do so many things, and he can really island on somebody. Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Trent Williams, talking about Fred Warner, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki, Howard, Holland. This is a star-studded matchup. This is going to be for both teams, a game that we're going to find out who these people are and what they're going to be in the postseason. Because this is the biggest test for both of them they've had all year. To me, it's another thing where other than the defensive stats, everything is very, very close. Talking about 25 and 22 points per game, 386 and 358 yards per game, both leaning to the Miami Dolphins, who just have such an impressive offense. And Mike McDaniel's going to come in and be like, hey, the guy who took me with him the whole way, the guy who I've taken a ride with, I'm gonna come out and show my ass here. Really, he's gonna put everything he's got on the table, and Tua is balling out. He has his limitations. He can't throw past 40 yards, but man, everything inside of there, he's perfect, absolutely perfect, and the scheme is perfect, and the personnel is perfect for the scheme. Everything about it is money. Guys like Jeff Wilson, guys like Raheem Mostert came from 49ers. Want to show up against that team and let them go. Didn't believe in them as much as the guys that exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So what it comes to for me, we talk about opponent points per game. Miami's sitting at 23.3. That's pretty nice. But that 15.7 now, that's impressive.
Points per game in San Fran?
Yeah. That's allowed. Then you're talking about yards allowed per game, 343. Miami is letting people go crazy. They're only going 40 yards over what they're allowing. Mm-hmm. That's a little scary to me. There's about 281 for the 49ers. And I bet you if you look in the last 5 weeks, it is less than that. So only thing I can come to is offensively, this is going to be a showcase. Miami's going to have to do some insane and magical things to win in San Francisco, cross-country traveling game. This defense is going to take it for me. That defense is too good. The only concern I have is what is their one weakness? Cornerback. Their scheme is an amazing one. It doesn't ask too much of the cornerbacks. Talked about this last week, but sometimes you need to man up and have a guy that can do it.
Oh, you do.
They got 3 amazing safeties. Talanoa Hufanga is going to make a play. You know, Sean Gibson plays amazing. Always is in the right position. Jimmy Ward's going to make a play. But damn, Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. Don't expect Mike Gesicki to do nothing. Fred Warner's on.
Oh, yeah.
Drake Greenlaw's on.
He's going to be locked up.
If Tua can find a shot deep in the end or deep corners for me particularly, you know, corner routes, post routes, that's where it's going to not the post. Leave the safeties alone. Deep corners and deep out routes. That's where you might have a couple plays that change this game. And if you can scheme something up that draws a hole in the, I don't want to say middle of the field because that's their strength, but somewhere you have a good crossing route to get these guys open space and let Tyreek or Jalen Waddle take a big touchdown.
Right.
This is going to be a high-scoring game for sure. I'm going to lean a little bit to the defense and say 49ers come out with it. But there are things to definitely say that the Dolphins got a real chance here. They expected for light rain. Both teams are comfortable with that. Both teams are happy to run the ball. Christian McCaffrey, Jeff Wilson, and Raheem Mostert, they're happy to run the ball. I'm going to lean a little bit to the 49ers, though. Even though I expect Mike McDaniels to come out and have an incredible game plan for this one. He's probably had plays that he drew up months ago waiting for this one. He practiced against that defense every week. He was the play caller for them last year. Every week he practiced against this defense. See, I don't know if I am picking 49ers just on that. I'm like, he knows how to expose this. He knows what he's going to do. He's had plays drawn up for this for months. This is going to be an incredible game. I called the game of the week earlier. Might walk it back and say this is going to be one of those two.
Right.
Man, what do you think?
Man, I want to tell you this, man. So if you think about it, really, right? You know, you have a high-powered offense that can score, that can kill you with speed, and you put it versus a top 2 defense.
I've seen that. Top 2, who are we playing? Stop it. It's not the Cowboys. It's the
anyway.
I just seen that at the bottom of the screen as you said it. I'm like, are you playing with me?
Anyway.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they second. Anyway. So man, this is power versus power. Man. Okay, so this is how you beat a good defense. You outsmart them. Because any tough defense relies on being tough, not smart, just tough. So if you can outsmart the defense, you can beat the 49ers at their house. I am kind of neutral, but I am going more so for the Dolphins though this game. Number one, they have not lost with Tua playing. They haven't. They have not lost. Their only 3 losses are when Tua did not play. Those are their
Yeah.
the only
They
losses.
got the advantage at quarterback.
They do. Man, this game will be good.
Electric.
Man, it's gonna be in the Bay Area. Man, I got the Dolphins. It's gonna be tough.
It's
Can't
gonna be
lie.
tough.
Tua,
That's a crowd that shows up.
yes. Tua will have to play smarter. No,
They will.
he will.
They will.
Got to, because this defense is, man, they scary. They are scary, and you got to outsmart them. Now, in order to beat speed, this is how you beat speed. You take a different angle. That is how you beat speed.
Safeties.
San Fran, you gotta know how to cut them off. You got to, because if not, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle will put numbers on you.
Yeah. In the San Francisco scheme, the safeties and corners are going to have to have perfect communication. They're going to have to split coverages perfectly. And that's the problem with having Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, is you can't split safeties and split coverages everywhere.
Right.
You can't. And it's just too much. I got to say real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you see what happened while you were talking?
No, I didn't see it. No.
Ooh, Caleb Williams just broke a 60-yard run, broke 5 tackles in the scoring position now.
Bro,
he broke a 60-yard run.
Ain't playing, dog. Today they
hey, listen. You can change your pick, bro. We're still
I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, Utah coming back on that. Woo!
No, that's the first quarter, man. No.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that on Tuesday, if not by the end here. My God.
No,
bro, I sat here listening to you, and I heard what you were saying, but I was watching this play, and I'm sitting there like,
right,
what's going on right now, bro? This guy Caleb is on a different level, bro. Different level.
You gotta kidding me, man.
Yeah.
Bro, they are not playing. They're not playing, man.
I told you, USC was sitting here like, please give us Utah back. Give it to us. Please give it to us. They're gonna rout them. I'm telling you right now.
Nah.
They're gonna get blown out.
First quarter. Nah.
Okay.
Nah. We'll see.
2 for 2 on drives for touchdowns. Broke a 60-yard run. He broke 5 tackles, bro. I sat here counting it.
If it's a big gap by a second quarter, it's a game.
I think we're there. We got 2:52 left on the clock, bro. We're there.
Nah. Not yet.
You got me feeling good right now, Derek. I'm gonna be on you on Tuesday, bro. I'm telling you right now.
Hey, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Man, Utah had him 5 yards in the backfield, and he started breaking tackles back there. Just started splitting, juking, running. This dude is so fast. Every time I see him run, I'm like, I didn't realize he was that fast. Oh my God.
Man, so let's get to some big news, man. Odell. He had his meeting with the Giants Thursday night.
Yeah.
The coach said that that it was good. That though, I don't really buy that choice though. Nah, no. He has a meeting with the Bills though today, right?
I believe
Friday. Yeah, today.
Yes.
And then he meets with Dallas Monday, and they say that Odell will have his choice by Tuesday. Now, I think if he gonna wait till Tuesday, it's gonna be Dallas,
because if it was the Giants, bro, it'd be done
I don't
today.
think so.
Oh yeah, yes, of
I
course.
think he's going to hear out all three. He's going to attend all three meetings. He's
No,
not gonna
right, true.
Tell them to meet with you and not do it.
Now he will. But if I was him, and then I felt great, man, about the Giants, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. That's it. Done. That's it. But
Nah.
2 more. Well,
that's his
Dallas,
favorite
right?
home, but that's the least successful team he's interested in.
I mean, true. Yes.
You got to feel out
They
all
are.
three.
They
Take
are, yes,
take
true.
the experience.
Right, true. But the Bills, they're good, but they're in the cold though. He don't want to go to the cold. They would though, yes, win, yes. They win, yes, but it's gonna be in the cold. Odell don't like the cold. And then Dallas, they are everywhere. Why would you not go to Dallas?
Because you don't want to play for a team that's a primarily running scheme, which makes the Bills the favorite for me.
Flings the ball 20 or 30 times again at least.
And how many of those wind up in interceptions that you look at afterwards? Like, what just happened? 2 last game?
Yeah, like what, 2? Yeah, it's 2 though.
That's too many. Yeah.
2 is too many, yes, of course. But every QB throws picks though, so I don't really.
Yeah, but I've always had the opinion that Dak is not a primary passing quarterback. He's a complementary quarterback to a great team. And
Dak
maybe
is
the
not
best of his kind.
great.
He's not a pocket
great
passer.
guy.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Like, he's effective. He's a
not.
great passer, but he's not someone who primarily you can just throw the ball 50 times a game and expect to win.
Oh,
Especially late in the season, it's going to be a
he's
problem.
not, but he will though. He's not.
That's why you lose to San Francisco in the first round last year.
Oh, that's fine. That was a fluke anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't need
Cowboy fan right here. So listen, for me, bro, when I heard the Bills were that deep back into it, they were taking a visit, I was like, oh, okay. This is a thing then. Because him and Von Miller have been talking the whole time. Von Miller's who he's close with. Yeah. And honestly, the whole Cowboys players coming out and speaking on Odell publicly.
Right.
You know, Dak is particularly. Right. I question it because I don't know how I feel about it. Does it make me feel like, oh, they feel like, yeah, they got him? Or do they feel like, you know, we need an extra push?
Right.
We're concerned we might not. We really want. I feel like I'm more on the latter there. I feel like I'm more that they are looking at it like we want to get this dude and we're not confident that he's 100% sold. We know he likes us, but let's make him love us. When Buffalo's sitting back like, we got Von Miller and Josh Allen. He loves us. Quit playing.
Now,
the Giants, he loves them.
Would be good though. No, Buffalo came like he would. That would be great. Diggs, Davis.
I think he'd be great in New York too. Again,
he'd be good. Good though. That'd be great for offense. Josh Allen got 3 choices. Oh yeah, that'd be great.
not talking Buffalo, New York. I'm saying in New York.
Oh, Giants.
He's Rutherford, New Jersey, bro. Yeah, I think
he would be completely dumb to go to the Giants.
Yeah, I know you don't take Daniel Jones seriously, but quite frankly,
no, you don't.
He's shown earlier in the year and in past years that he can take a number 1 wide receiver and use him effectively. He just hasn't had enough of them.
Who has?
Daniel Jones.
No.
Yes, he has.
No. Who?
Listen.
Who? Who?
Sterling Shepard last year had great numbers.
No.
That's not a number 1 receiver though. Who has he had? Who has he had as that tier of a receiver in his entire career?
Really, nobody. Daniel Jones had it.
And he's been effective with guys like Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton.
He ain't shown it. The whole season? No. Some games.
What shows it for me is that when he's in there, they're 500 to competitive team. When he's not there, they're the worst team in the league. That shows you what he's got around him. And this year it's different because he got a different coach with a different scheme, more talent. I think Odell looks at them the same way I look at them. Like, there's a good chance he takes them from solid to really good.
But he won't go there. Number 1, it don't make sense to you. You won't win.
It don't make sense to a Cowboys fan.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
I'm saying to a Cowboys fan, it doesn't make sense for him to go to New York.
Huh?
I'm saying to a Cowboys fan, it doesn't
Yes.
make sense when you go to New York. But
To
realistically,
everybody, it don't make sense to everybody.
he's not just being sweet, giving them a visit. That's all I'm saying. It's not out of the
He does
kindness of his
not-
heart.
He does not want to go to the Giants. No. Listen to me. This is why he could go. Money. That's the only. That is the only reason why. Money.
2
They
ACL
would-
tears.
they would pay
Already
him.
won a Super Bowl. He'll take some money. Maybe that's
Yeah.
the top priority. He just had his first
Yeah, he
kid. So
can.
it's like, let's get some financial
Still.
security. If Dallas is offering me a veteran minimum, let's take someone that's going to take me seriously. Because you guys have already signed a few free agents. You don't have no cap space. You can create a little bit, but
Mhm.
I don't think it's realistic that you or Dallas or Buffalo, can really give him the contract he feel like he earned.
Mhm.
And I think the Giants might be closer to that. I don't know if they can either. It's late in the season, but
That
I got some-
would be money. Listen, look.
they have no quarterback on a primary contract. That's what
Look.
you gotta realize.
You can have all of the money in the world and still be miserable. If he goes to the Giants, he will be miserable because he will be put in the same spot as when he left. Same spot.
No.
They didn't do nothing when they
With a
had
40-year-old Eli Manning, you're right.
no Super Bowl, well, nothing. The Giants ain't going. No. Bills or Dallas, those are his top two choices. The Bills or Dallas. Giants.
I don't think we know that.
Giants.
I'm not as sold he's going to Dallas as I was previously at all.
I am. But it is definitely not the Giants.
It's possible. I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but that door
It's
is still
possible,
open.
yes, but it's not the Giants. Though. Like the Giants got probably a 10% chance, maybe, if that.
Nah.
Yes.
You a hater. You hate that everything in the NFC that ain't Cowboys. You're like, nah, don't take them seriously. Sometimes you got to.
Come on now. Philly,
Come on, man.
Commanders, and the Giants. No, come on now. No. The Dallas, bro.
I don't buy it, bro. I don't buy that they're not in the race at all. I don't buy that it's crazy for him to go there, and I don't buy that it's just a
Giants
done deal.
are,
He's going.
but they won't get him. It don't make. Listen, he wants to be seen, and he wants to plant roots. Dallas, Texas is one of the best cities in the world too. Dallas is family oriented. He just had a son. And Dallas, man, the best place to grow.
He was the king in New York for a few years. He remembers that feeling and thinks he can do it again.
They didn't do nothing with him. They didn't. So why?
They hosted Green Bay for a playoff game. They won the NFC East with him, with 40-year-old Eli Manning.
That's it. That's all they did.
What
They
else
didn't
have
do
you done? What else have the Cowboys done?
What have the Falcons done?
Hey,
2023?
you're saying that because you know I just made a good point.
No matter.
Every time you bring up the Falcons out of nowhere, I'm like, all right, I got him. I poked him a little bit.
Just saying.
You guys win the NFC East and lose in the first round consistently.
No way.
When's the last time you made it to the second round? You lost
In 2018? Yeah.
18 or 17.
Yeah, the round.
Second year with Zeke and Dak. And then
come on now, bro.
That's the highlight of their career so far. And
Come on.
they're both trending
True, it
downwards from there.
True, it is. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Hey,
I think you guys can offer him the least amount of money between the three.
yeah, yes. I mean,
But-
we have
but what?
very, very low cap space, though. Though we do.
That might be a problem.
We do. Came out. Jerry Jones
chose-
going to something. So
You chose to sign Antonio Callaway and spend some money. You could say
why? But why did we though? That was not smart. But
because it's not a guarantee you're going to get Odell and you need a versatile playmaker.
no, I think it's just depth. Yep. Really. Probably.
So would Odell be wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 4?
No. 2. No, I'm sorry. That's wrong. No, that's wrong.
Wide receiver 3.
Probably 3. Probably 3. Lamb.
Okay. If he
Gallup,
goes to Buffalo, what would he be?
3rd.
Okay. If he goes to the
Come on,
Giants, what would he
Diggs,
be?
David.
Then if he takes the most money in the place he's comfortable,
Mhm.
where would he be with the Giants?
he'd be first, but they wouldn't do him with him. And the whole season, they wouldn't do nothing. Not at all.
We're gonna have to see. Tuesdays are coming.
I don't trust.
I just hope
Daniel
that the
Jones.
news comes out by the time we're live on Tuesday, or maybe while we're live. And I really would be so happy if we're live on Tuesday and he signs with the Giants while we're on air, and I get to watch you react to this. I'm almost.
If they say Dallas,
then you get to go crazy. You get to go crazy, and I'm gonna have to listen to it. But it's not a guarantee. And Philly's gonna win, so I'm already gonna be dancing on you on that one.
When? Sunday.
Mm-hmm. So next Tuesday, I'm gonna be dancing on that, and I hope Odell signs with the Giants while we're live. That would make my week, man. I might get Christmas a little early this year.
Nah. All right, man. Guys, we will be back, but first, right now USC is up 14-3, and they do look like they are going to go down again and score again. Really, honestly.
You want to change your pick real quick?
Not
Give time.
No.
Dancing on Tuesday, man. I'm like.
What's the first quarter with? That's not right. But hey, guys, we will be
Tuesday's
back.
gonna be fun. Tuesday's going to be fun. Not for you, man. It's gonna be fun for me, man. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, well,
I'll tell you real quick. It says on the screen first quarter. It's incorrect. It's starting the second with the ball.
Yeah, because it says the first.
Yeah. They'll get that changed. It's okay.
That's weird.
Fox has got to get his stuff together.
Yeah,
but 3 and out on the second drive for Utah.
Oh yeah, 3 and out.
We'll see how this goes. I'm gonna have at least 2 dubs on Tuesday. We'll see if I get a third.
Probably not.
And you thought the Dolphins gonna win in the 49ers, so I might have 3.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's a tough game.
Yeah. That's when I'm back in. If the Dolphins win, I ain't gonna be mad about it. But the Titans not winning, Utah not winning. Odell might not sign with the Cowboys. Let's see how Tuesday goes.
Dallas, bro. Dallas, bro.
Ooh, but USC back in the red zone, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back on Tuesday. I'm ready. I want Tuesday to be here right now. I'm telling you.
All right, guys. We will see y'all Tuesday. Good night.
Have a good one.